Summer, I have cheese on me. I have cheese on me. Look, I have cheese. I have cheese over here too. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Perfect. This is my child, and I want to talk about how she's changed my life. Her name is Summer. You're my child. Before I get into how she has changed my life, I thought it would be good to talk about something that happened to me when I was a kid. It's a little bit dramatic, so trigger warning, it does involve a dog attack, but I thought it would be interesting to talk about it because I love dogs now, and this event that happened to me, it affected my opinion of dogs for most of my childhood. This happened when I was 6 years old. I was at a barbecue at my aunt's house. I think that everyone had to run in to go do something, and I was just kind of wandering off on my own as I did. So I was in the backyard, and there was a dog there that was like a neighborhood dog, and I started following it around. Honestly, I was annoying the crap out of this dog, but I wasn't being mean to it, I was just following it around. Looking back, I could tell that I was really annoying this dog. I didn't know that, I just wanted to play with him, and I didn't get why he didn't want to play with me. So, as this dog was walking around the yard, I was just following him, and every time I would catch up to him, he would go somewhere else. So, he got really annoyed with me. And then eventually I was like, fine, whatever. So I turn around, I'm gonna go back inside, and before I know it, I'm on the ground. He came up from behind, knocked me over, and he was getting the back of my head. He started biting me. He got the back of my head, my armpit, and he got my collarbone area before my uncle heard me screaming. He came outside, he pulled the dog off of me. They rushed me to the hospital. During that time, I just remember this weird sense of peace. I didn't feel the pain right away, I just felt this weird sense of knowing that I was gonna be okay. I remember turning my head around, looking up at the sky, and just something inside of me knew that it was gonna be okay. I don't know what that was, but it was like I could see myself from a different perspective. That was an interesting experience. I rushed to the hospital. I got stitches in the back of my head and my armpit and in my collarbone area. After that, I was just terrified of dogs. It didn't matter the size. I was just terrified of them. I remember riding a bike and then seeing a little tiny dog coming up and chasing me on my bike. A little tiny dog. And I was terrified and I just started screaming. And so for most of my childhood, this was my experience, this was my relationship with dogs. It was that dogs are scary. It wasn't even something that I thought about. It wasn't something that was a cognitive thought in my head. It was more so a feeling and overcame my body when I would see a dog. And I did have 2 dogs actually that I wasn't afraid of, but that was because they were mine, and I think that it's just different when you live with a dog for years and years and you feel safe around them. But it was literally any other dog but my own. When I got older, I didn't dislike dogs or anything. I just felt that I thought I was more of a cat person. I thought that was the animal for me, or the one that I would be able to relate to the most. And honestly, I like both dogs and cats. You can't really compare, so you can't really say one's better than the other, because they're both amazing in their own ways. But that experience shaped my view, and even into my adulthood, I was like, dogs are okay, you gotta be careful. I've just never bonded with them, and that was kind of what I thought. My very first dog that got me to feel differently about dogs was when I first moved in with my husband. We had roommates, and which became really good friends of mine also. And one of our roommates had a dog that we helped take care of. Kind of before that, up to that point, I hadn't given it much thought. But this dog melted my heart. This dog made me just so excited to wake up and have her there. She was the kind of dog that would sleep under blankets. You would wake up and you'd look over on the couch and you'd see a dog's snout just sticking out from under the blanket. I just have so many good memories of her. That my husband and I were really close to our roommates. We were really close to the dog. Her name was Sarah. She was a Dachshund Yorkie, a Dorkie, and that was the first dog that made me think dogs are freaking awesome. They can really bond with you, and they can really become such a big part of your life without you realizing it. We all eventually went our separate ways, and I haven't seen her in a long time, but I hope she's doing well. So when Chris and I moved up here, I can see a dog outside that she's eyeballing, and she's being really good to not bark at it. Aw, she's being really good right now. It's a little Pomeranian out there. She sometimes barks really, really loud at dogs. There's allowed to be other dogs out there. When we moved out and we got our own place together, we knew that eventually we wanted to get our own dog because we both just loved taking care of Sarah. So we knew that eventually it would happen. I was at work one day. I got a text from Chris that was just like, I wanted this to be a surprise, but do you care if I come home with the dog? And I was just like freaking over the moon. So excited, so happy. I didn't care what she looked like, what breed she was. I just was like, yep, I'm in. So he actually went and visited this litter of dogs. She stood out to him immediately because she was kind of wild, really playful. She had such energy that the other dogs didn't really seem to care much about what was happening, but she just really stood out. That's why we chose her. He wanted to name her Puppy. Our cat's name is Kitten, and he named him. He was like, you know what, how about you name her? I honestly brainstormed for hours. I was going between Summer and Daisy, and I chose Summer. I feel like her personality reminds me of summertime. She's so vibrant. So that's why that's her name. She's changed my life. The first thing I want to say, animals in general fill your home with such lively energy. It's something that I didn't even think about before. You know, if it's just you, or if it's you and someone else, there is a lot of time that's pretty quiet, and it's almost a feeling in the air that you get of stillness. Even if the dog's asleep and in the other room, or not really doing much, there's still an energy there that I really enjoy having. There's just an energy. A chaotic energy sometimes. It ranges from being dead asleep to getting the zoomies, running all over the house, filling it with this childlike energy, and it's amazing. When they get the zoomies, you can't help but smile. If you have a hard time with feeling lethargic or feeling motivated, animals will get you motivated quick, and especially dogs. They have a lot of needs, and it helps for you to really break out of that feeling to just go and take care of them. The next thing that I want to mention is how dogs know how to listen to their bodies better than humans. I believe that people are kind of told to ignore their bodies and to push through the feelings of discomfort a lot of times. And sometimes that can be good advice, and other times that can be detrimental to our mental and physical health. For example, working on the computer and not moving at all for 4 hours straight, sometimes plus hunching over. And I know this because I have been a graphic designer. I know what that's like, but it's like you get this urge, this feeling in your body, like, oh, I'm uncomfortable and I'm sore. Those uncomfortable feelings that you get in your body that a lot of times you don't even realize how terrible they feel until it's been like 4 hours and you're just so sore that you need to get up, and you get up and you're like, oh my gosh. It's no wonder people have back problems and all that stuff, because I think society really just pushes people to just work through it, hit these deadlines. This is what's important. What's really important is to listen to our bodies though. And as soon as Summer wakes up, I notice that as soon as she gets up from a nap or something, she immediately goes to stretch. Her body tells her, I'm a little bit stiff, and she works it out. People don't do that. I have a hard time doing that. And that's why I took up yoga, because it makes me get into a daily practice of focusing on my body and what I need to be doing. Dogs get a feeling and they just follow it. They'll shake their heads when they get something in their ears. When they have a burst of energy, they just zoom. That's what the zoomies are. They just run. Until their energy is completely out, they just keep running. What if people were like that? People would look at you like you were stupid if you just, in the middle of a workday, you just got up, you started running around the office, you started doing laps. People would be like, that guy's a golden retriever. People would be like, I think that's a dog in the human body. But I feel like we should embody our animalistic instincts a little bit more sometime. That's a big problem with people. So I admire that she teaches me, hey, remember to stretch. And sometimes when I'm doing yoga, she will come up behind me and stretch with me. Kind of piggybacking on that, it really feels like she somehow always knows when I need a break. She needs to get out every few hours, so I get that, but there are a lot of times when I will be working and I won't feel bad at all. I'll feel like, yeah, I'm in the flow. I'm doing great. I'm feeling good. And I don't want to stop. I just really don't want to. And then she'll put her paws up on me and be like, we're late, come on, let's go, let's move. And I will be like, all right. So I'll get her out. And about halfway through the walk, I'm like, wow, I didn't feel like I needed a break, but I feel much better now. She knows when I need a break. It's pretty interesting.
You ready? You ready to go outside? You ready to go for a little walk? Huh?
She actually decided to lay down behind me, so I want to respect that and not try and move her or anything. So I'll try to get her in frame. Another big way she's changed my life is a bigger sense of responsibility. Cats are, they require a lot of responsibility, but dogs are on another level with the amount of needs that they have, and just in general, like, they genuinely want to be a huge part of your life. You can't just leave them overnight. You have to attend to all their needs, and they're really playful and they have a lot of energy that they need to get out. It just makes them on another level as far as like pets for responsibility. So everything that I do, I consider, how will this affect her? And will she be okay? And all that. That's what you have to do when you have a dog. And it's not something that I dread or I feel as a burden, like, oh man, I wish I didn't have to consider her. I don't feel that way. Am I sometimes out late and think, man, I wish I could stay all night or stay longer? That would be fun. Yeah, I think that, but ultimately the price to pay is so insignificant for the amount of joy and happiness that she brings to my everyday. So yeah, sure, there's a trade-off, but there's a trade-off with every decision that you make in life. And so if you, say, didn't get a dog or don't have one, yeah, you will be able to stay out as late as you want and not worry ever about boarding or daycare or taking care of your dog. But you also don't get this amazing critter running all around your house, getting the zoomies, showing you what life is truly about. So the trade-off for me is nothing. I like taking care of her. Everything that she does in life, she approaches with a sense of curiosity. She goes into it fully immersed into it and fully excited, like, let's do this, yes. That's something I can learn from so much, because there are very few things that really make her scared. She loves to go to new places, experience new things, She loves to meet new people. I've met so many people just because of her, just because I will take her on a walk. We'll see somebody walking their dog, and it's one of the easiest segues into a conversation. So I will say, if you are someone who really wants to meet other people and make more friends as an adult, dogs are a great way to do it. I'm not saying you should use them for that or anything, but it's just a perk that comes along with having dogs. There is someone in the neighborhood that I met a couple months ago, and we go on walks together probably like 3 to 4 times a week now with our dogs, and she's become a friend. I can genuinely say I have made a true friend because of her, and that's amazing. I think we not only get along, but we connect on some deep things and genuinely really care about each other's lives. And it's so fun seeing her play with her friend. She gets so excited to play with her friend Milo. She's decided to grace us with her presence again. Yay! A lot of times people have this feeling of not being enough, not doing enough, and feeling like they're not good enough. But dogs know that they are enough, and they know that they're whole just as they are, and that they don't need to change a bunch of things about themselves in order to be quote-unquote perfect, or in order to be worthy of love. And they show you that. I just think about how comfortable I am around her. When you're in the presence of your dog, you can truly let your guard down and be yourself 100%. You can be goofy, you can dance and you can sing, run around with no clothes on. They don't care. They will never judge you. That is possibly one of the biggest lessons that I feel like I learned from her, is that you're free to be yourself. Not only will they not judge you, they will fully open arms accept you for exactly who you are. I think joy is an underrated benefit of having a dog. Joy is something that we should hold on to. We have something that consistently makes us happy, consistently reminds us of the important things in life. That is nothing to be underestimated. That is huge. So those are just some of the ways that she's changed my life. I would love to hear about how your dog has changed your life. So leave below in the comments if you want to, the number one way that having a dog has changed your life, and I would love to read them. I think that would be fun. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe, and I will also put the link to my Instagram in the description. I hope the rest of your day is awesome, and I'll see you soon.